this point, the FBI, which is historically massively right-wing, the idea that the FBI is some sort of left-wing deep state is hilarious, not backed up by a single fact. But so the right wing, and so the FBI is saying, hey guys, we wish it weren't the case, but most of the domestic terrorists in America now are right-wingers. And they're all trying to kill anyone who disagrees with Donald Trump.
I just think that's wrong. And I think, I certainly think there are.
Yes, I have never seen this before. Tim Pool calmly school unhinged TYT holes on always crime, racism, and left-wing domestic extremism. I have seen this man on various occasions always trying to have the same talking point. And it is concerning. He says he wants to run for president, that he wants to beat Biden. Immediately he was debunked that he can't run for president because, in fact, I don't want to go into that. So according to him, the rules he has outlined, that he can be president. To me, that can't work out. Though he's still deceiving his followers, like it will work out, and they are even putting a lot of money on him. If FBI could actually investigate this guy, they will discover something we have not seen. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that, and if possible, why not share out this video?
At this point, the FBI, which is historically massively right-wing, the idea that the FBI is some sort of left-wing deep state is hilarious, not backed up by a single fact. But so the right wing, and so the FBI is saying, hey guys, we wish it weren't the case, but most of the domestic terrorists in America now are right-wingers. And they're all trying to kill anyone who disagrees with Donald Trump.
I just think that's wrong. And I think, I certainly think there are right-wing domestic
By the way,
terrorists.
I just want to be clear. That doesn't mean all right-wingers or a majority of right-wingers are terrorists. It just means of the terrorists that are around now, which is a small group, right? Unfortunately, most of them are right-wingers at this point.
I think it's completely inverted, but the bias comes from the extremity of the actions taken by the terrorists. So you'll end up with a story of a guy, perhaps Maine. I think the story is more about what happened in Maine. He was mentally unwell and he was targeting his friends, is what they're reporting now. He thought his friends were talking behind his back and he went nuts. But
by the way, they're all mentally unwell.
Of course.
No, but it's not of course, because the right wing says anytime it's a white person or a right winger, they go mentally unwell. And because I'm honest, I agree, right? And so, and they'll have their half of them will have their manifestos, like in Charlottesville, he had a manifesto about race wars and how black people were terrible, and that's why he went inside a black church and shot him up. El Paso was against Latinos, there's the synagogue shootings. So these are political, there's no question. But no one who's mentally well goes into a synagogue or a church and shoots people. But that is also true of Muslims. When it comes to right wing, they're like, oh yeah, that's so true when it comes to right wing. It's so true. They're just mentally unwell. They don't represent us. Muslims. Oh, it's all Muslims. It's all Muslims. They're all mentally well. That's why they shot up people. They don't have any mental health problems. Their problem is that they're Muslim.
Well,
no. That's exactly bigotry. No, all those dudes have massive mental health problems as well. So instead of saying, hey, I hate black people, they're saying I hate the West or whatever it is.
But so here's my point. The examples you gave are these extreme examples that are horrifying we try to prevent. And they're acts of evil, abject evil. On the left, you get what I would call more blunt terror. Mm-hmm. So for instance, the George Floyd riots. When you had small towns across this country, Michael Tracy's reporting, showing a grocery store with its windows smashed out and they spray paint on the boarded up window saying, please don't hurt us. When you have people in Berkeley, I was at a bar in Berkeley and they had Trump sucks, Trump is a pig on the window. And I'm having a drink and I asked, this is like 2017, I was like, you guys not big Trump fans? And the bartender's like, no, we like him. And I'm like, why would you put that in the window? If we don't, they'll smash our windows out and attack us. That people live in, have you been to Berkeley? There's a Burger King with a big sign in the window saying, we are not a corporate chain. We are family owned. Please don't hurt us. I'm like, why would you live that way? You look at May 29th, when far leftists firebombed the White House grounds and St. John's Church. And this is not major news. There's no committee hearings. But if you're somebody who lives, I'll give you a more recent example. When I'm in Reston, Virginia, having dinner with the team here, a guy comes up and says, you're not going to hear this a lot in Reston, but I'm a big fan. And I was like, actually, like 4 people already have come up and Okay, that's the blunt terror of, in a town I live in, I have to whisper and I'm scared that someone might find out I listen to Timcast. When in reality, people who worked there and other people had already said this, but they all seem to say the same things. I'm scared to express my opinions.
That's not terrorism, Tim.
But it is.
No,
it is people who are living in terror for political reasons.
No.
When I take a look at this tweet, the FBI did not label left-wing terror group as domestic terrorists, but labeled parents at a school meeting who were mostly likely consecutive combating the degeneracy in school got labeled domestic terrorists, saying texts are easily destroyed. Chung says it is not terrorism when Tim lists of how these families and businesses are living in fear on a daily basis, and then says there is a mega terrorism because Mitt Romney claimed he was scared to vote against Trump. What? That is somebody's opinion. Another person wrote, "Since believe I actually used to watch this dude, I don't really remember him being this far gone, but he has really become one of the most ridiculous journalists in the country. He is a joke." Consecutive have been trying the respond calmly approach for years, and it simply doesn't work. It goes on one ear, out the other. We are not dealing with reasonable people here. You need to match passions for passion, emotion for emotions, say the same things, make the same logical point, but shout them. Don't just Mickey whisper them. Okay, these are people responding to this video who realize they have different opinions pertaining to this. He has outlined some things like when something happened, they say, oh, Muslim. They don't actually think to realize, oh, maybe this Muslim had a mental issue, that they don't do that. He went further to bring in some comparisons, which Tim Pool immediately debunked. It has become a real problem, when it concerns this issue of mass shooting. Nowadays, not only in the USA, I've seen a lot of countries facing this same issue. One thing the government, especially like what we have seen the Joe administration trying to put up, to put a ban, to owning, let me not even go there. You realize that they don't go into all the details to check about people's mental health. They don't create awareness to this. They just believe that somebody getting up to enter a church and do a lot of these things, it is not right. They should be able to put what is actually causing these people to do all this. Because I don't believe somebody on the right senses would just get up and blow up 20 persons. I don't understand. Because when I try to even reason this, I will still not get answers to it. How will you just sit to, look at someone, then you just believe you can easily take away that person's life? It has always been this issue of blame games. When it happens, another person will say, oh, it was a black person. Oh, it was a white person. It is high time we sit on the table, try to figure out what is going on. The last incident I recently saw was devastating. Can you imagine? It has become actually a bigger issue. People are divided on these issues. I want to know your opinion on what you think pertaining to this. Should a government take away a gun, though we understand they actually own one? Thank you guys for always being there, sharing out my videos. God bless you and stay true. If you notice, I'm putting out just 2 videos. The new one is coming where we continue to update 3 videos like we do before.